We will begin our study of electromagnetism with some simple observations. These are observations related to magnetism, related to electrostatics. For example, the first observation is that when a balloon is wrapped into hair, it picks up a piece of paper. So let's see how that process works here. And another observation is that some natural stones attract iron. So we have these magnets basically that attract iron. So let's see how that works. You can see an iron nail is attracted by a magnetic material. And a current carrying wire deflects a magnetic compass needle, which basically led to the study of electromagnetism. So let's see how that process works.
I have a wire that goes through a piece of cardboard here, and I've got it surrounded by little tiny compasses. They're all pointing generally this direction. And I'm going to run current through the wire that will be coming up the wire this way from underneath. So based on the right-hand rule, there should be a magnetic field around this wire. In which direction? Let's find out. So I'm going to clip this on now. So it looks like all of the arrows are tending to go around in a counterclockwise fashion from this perspective.
All right, so basically these observations, these simple observations led to the study of electromagnetism. If we briefly look at the history of electromagnetism, Michael Faraday, 1791 to 1867, came up with Faraday's law, which basically relates to changing magnetic flux causing an electromotive force. James Clerk Maxwell, 1831-1879, came up with Maxwell's equations, which is basically summarizing some of the earlier results, adding Maxwell's contribution. And he also concluded that light is traveling at the speed of light, 3 times 10 to 8 meters per second. It's an electromagnetic wave. So electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light. Heinrich Hertz, 1857 to 1894, basically showed experimentally that the electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light, and he showed this with radio waves. And Albert Einstein, 1879 to 1955, developed the theory of special relativity, which is also based on Maxwell's equations. Okay. So the study of electromagnetism basically unifies the seemingly two different concepts, electric forces and magnetic forces. Electric forces that you would see between a balloon wrapped into a hair and a piece of paper, and magnetic forces developing between iron and some natural stones. So these basically combination of these led to electromagnetic waves, and one of the goals of this course is to discuss the source of electromagnetic forces. So we can start with electric charges. So we have two kinds of electric charges, positive charge and negative charge. These were named by Benjamin Franklin, 1706 to 1790. Now if you look at protons, protons have positive charge, subatomic particles, electrons have negative charge, and neutrons have no charge. So net charge is 0. And we can observe that charges of the same sign repel each other. So a positive charge will repel a positive charge. Charges of the opposite sign will attract each other. So a positive sign will attract a negative charge. Two negative charges will repel each other. Now, the total electric charge is always conserved in an isolated system. So if there's a transfer of charge in an isolated system, part of the system is positively charged, part of the system is negatively charged, and we have a net charge of 0. We can show this by looking at the experiment. Rubbing a glass onto silk, we have transfer of electrons from the glass to the silk, giving us a positively charged glass rod and negatively charged silk. So electron transfer from glass to silk, and basically we see that we have equal and opposite charges developing on the glass and the silk. So let's see this experiment. You can see that we have a balloon that is initially not charged. The glass rod is initially not charged, and this glass rod will be rubbed onto silk now, and also the balloon is getting charged. So by rubbing this piece of cloth on the balloon, we're transferring electrons from this cloth to the balloon so that the balloon gets negatively charged, and afterwards we have the glass rod being rubbed onto silk. So you can see that electrons are being transferred from the glass rod to the silk. Now the glass rod is going to be positively charged, so positive and negative charges would attract each other. So that's exactly what we see in this experiment. Okay, and regarding this charge transfer process, we see that the electric charge is quantized so that we have an integer number of electrons being transferred. The smallest amount of charge you can transfer is the electron charge, which is 1.6 10 to minus 19 coulombs. And so we can say that the objects get electrified by transfer of an integer number of electrons from one part of the system to another part of the system, and eventually we have a distribution of charges, but the net charge in the isolated system is 0. Now this finds an application, interesting application for printing. We have electrostatic forces in printing. The negatively charged toner particles are attracted to positively charged image on a paper, and they get heat fused to produce us images. So we can see this process here.
Let's find out the overall process roughly. Here are two rollers. One is charging roller and the other OPC drum. Charging roller applies a negative charge on the OPC drum, and the drum delivers small particles called toner on a paper. First, using the charging roller, applies a negative charge on the OPC drum surface. On the negative charge drum surface, laser applies the desired drawing to be printed. Then, the places that the laser have been applied are now positively charged. And apply toners with developer roller. Toner particles are attached to the positively charged drum surface. Next to the developer roller lies a sponge roller. A sponge roller provides toner to the developer roller and cleans up toners that's not delivered to the drum.
Okay, so we can see that this really involves process of engineering electrostatic forces in order to develop an image on a piece of paper. So after this, these particles, toner particles, getting attracted to the positively charged image, we have a final heat fusion process to basically solidify the image on the paper.